Welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are ranking Kreator albums from my least favourite to my favourite. Kreator being one of the best thrash bands around, one of the more aggressive thrash bands, one of the heaviest, and also one of the fucking best. Now before we get started with my list, pop yours down below. What's your favourite Kreator album? What's your least favourite? And let's get started. So for me, coming in last is Cause of Conflict. Just like a lot of thrash bands, they kind of had this weird period in the 90s where they wanted to change their sound a bit. Testament did it, went a bit more death, and then a bit new metal-y. Metallica did it with kind of weird, with Load and Reload, with weird country songs and shit. It seems like thrash bands just have a weird period in the 90s, and Kreator's no different. They went more industrial, and also on another album, Goth, which is weird, but for my taste, the industrial stuff, it doesn't gel with me. Doesn't gel with me at all. So this is coming in last. The production's weird. It's not thrashy like some of the other albums. It's like Renewal's pretty good, even though I still don't like industrial, but it's a pretty good album. This one I just don't think is a good album. Vocals are weird, everything's in the distance. I can't gel with this album. Can't fucking gel with it. So, it's coming in last. Next up is Outcast. I would have thought this would be more back to pure thrash from the album cover, and it's not. It's still got that kind of weird flair to it. I'm still not a big fan. Nothing really jumps out at me on this album as well, and a lot of people can be pissed off that the goth album's higher, but I like goth music. I like that kind of music. I don't like this kind of music, and this one is a lot more listenable than Cause of Conflict. A lot more listenable, but just still, I'm never gonna pick this out. When someone says, "Oh, let's play some Kreator," I'm not gonna pick this fucking album out. No way in hell. So next up is Renewal, and this again is more listenable. So it's going up like this, like a fucking mountain. There's nothing wrong with this album, but the fact that it's a Kreator album, and all the albums that came before it, just showcases how not as good this album is. And I mean, again, it's a listenable album. It's just not as good. It's nothing compared to Pleasure to Kill, Extreme Aggression, Pleasure to Kill. None of them. Not as good as any of them. But it's when they started to transition. This is a progressing album, an album that progressed from pure thrash straight to whatever the fuck this period was, industrial. Yeah, not a big fan of it. Again, not a big fan of these mid-era albums. But this one is better than Cause of Conflict and Outcast, in my opinion. It is better. But still, never going to pick it, so let's move on. So next up is Endorama, which a lot of people dismiss, just like the ones I mentioned. But I like Endorama. Those ones I don't like that much. I wouldn't listen to. This one, I think is fucking great. I think this is a great album. The reason it's so low, and not in my top 3, because I would put it fucking high, because I think this album's fucking awesome. The reason it's here is because the band's called Kreator. And most of the Kreator albums, like Teutonic Thrash, fucking awesome German thrash, this is not even close to what they sound like. There's singing on it, there's clean singing. It's gothic, feels more like a Typo Negative album, which I love Typo Negative, so I fucking love this album. But it's not Kreator. I almost didn't put this in the entire list because I was like, this is so far removed from what they've done. It needs its own category. Call it the Endorama category. But I know a lot of people hate it. I don't. I think it's great. So from here on out, all these albums are fucking fantastic. This one included. So yeah, fuck it. I love Endorama. So now it gets hard to rank the rest of them. My number one, my top 3 are kind of set in stone. The rest is ridiculously hard to rank. So next we're going with Enemy of God. A fucking great album. A fucking great album. One of the newer ones, Return to Form, the song Enemy of God. How good is that? World Anarchy, Suicide Terrorist, all these songs. Furious, intense, aggressive, and goddamn awesome. There's just other albums that I prefer. There's other albums I prefer over this one. A lot of people don't like the newer, more melodic ones, but I fucking love them. So they may be high. But yeah, for now, Enemy of God is going here on the ranking. Next up is Hordes of Chaos, another one which I love. The song Hordes of Chaos is one of the best Kreator songs ever made. Hordes of Chaos! Everyone against everyone! And he starts screaming chaos. I'm not going to do it because my throat's going to die, but I fucking love that. It's chaos! The first couple of songs in this album kick you right into the balls. You love it. The production on this is amazing as well. I think it was done live, they said. So it has that kind of authentic feeling to this album, the way they recorded it. And I love the production on it. Some people hate the production on this. I think it's fucking glorious. Amazing production, amazing songs. It's just, there's albums that I prefer with better songs on, so this is hard. It's hard to rank Kreator, alright? Give me a fucking break. Next up is Violent Revolution, and oh my god, what a return to fucking form. After all that shitty 90s stuff, and Endorama, which was awesome, after all this shitty industrial stuff, they came back with this fresh piece. Yeah, this fresh piece, with all the songs on this one. It's back to the form, and maybe I'm giving it more credit by saying, like, oh, it's back to form, but it's kind of like Iron Maiden's Brave New World. I give that a lot of credit, because after the Blaze stuff, that fucking masterpiece. Same thing here, really, but maybe over time, Enemy of God and Hordes of Chaos might rise higher than it, but at the moment, yeah, I love it for that. So it's going here. Next up is most people's number one picks, Coma of Souls. This is a fantastic album from start to finish. It's where Kreator kind of wanted to become more melodic. It's the more melodic Kreator album, but people are gonna go fucking mental that the two new ones are higher. But I just don't think it's as good as the new ones. I feel like they should have turned up the melodic factor even more, because it's not as good as the early thrashy stuff. Because if I want thrash, I want heavy fucking thrash, and this isn't that. And if I want melodic, I want full-on melodic. Yeah? So that's why Gods of Violence, Phantom Antichrist, I have over Coma of Souls. It's in this weird mid-spot, and some people love that. Some people are like, oh, it's the best of both worlds. But for me, there's no such thing. You either go full melodic, or you go full thrash. That's the way I like it. And which is why those other ones are higher, because they're more focused. But this is still a fantastic album from start to finish. And the Sun Burns Red, and Terror Zone's amazing. But yeah, I think this is overrated. I think this is an overrated album. I don't think it's number one. It's one of the best thrash albums of all time. I think that goes to some of the other ones I have higher. So, yeah. Before getting lynched, let's move on. So next up is Phantom Antichrist, and I love the artwork where it's just like a marionette and all the zombie horses are coming out. A lot of people, again, hated this album because it's more melodic. But I love it for that. But I do think the songwriting and the more catchiness is on Gods of Violence. This is still flawless though. Death to the World, Phantom Antichrist, United in Hate. This album's fucking awesome. From start to fucking finish. It's still a goddamn 10. It's just Gods of Violence has more catchy shit, and I saw them on the Gods of Violence tour, and it blew my mind. And they're the songs that stick in my head, so let's move on to that album. Hell yeah, World War Now, fucking fantastic. Satan is Real. Hail to the Hordes. I fucking love Hail to the Hordes. And one of my favourite songs by Kreator is on this fucking album, Lion with Eagle Wings. Oh my god, the melodies in that. Fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful. This album's underrated. It's one of the best Kreator albums. So it's going higher, for me, personally. I think it's fan-fucking-tastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. But I will say this album kind of feels more like a monomorph than Kreator. If you re-listen to this album, a lot of the melodies, a lot of the singing, feels more like a monomorph. And I'm a bigger monomorph fan, so it doesn't bother me, but for, people who grew up with Kreator, that might be why it's a bit lower. But for me, I don't fucking care. I don't have allegiance to anyone. This is great, sounds great to me. Fuck all the haters. Ooh, so now we're getting to the juicy shit. Extreme aggression. This is aggressive. But it is with a kind of, again, like Coma of Souls, it's that kind of almost midpoint, where they went from pure fucking hatred and aggression to a bit more melody, bit more. But not as much as Coma or the newer stuff, so that's why this one's a lot higher. Still thrash to pieces on this album. Betrayer, the title track, fuck. This album's awesome. It's also the most successfully commercially successful. English, the most commercially successful, and for good reason. This album's fucking awesome. A lot of people have this number 1 as well, and I can be like, yeah, man, yeah. Because it's just a solid bit of Teutonic thrash. So coming in at number 3 was my number 1 for a long time, and that's Endless Pain. I love everything from the album cover to the songs themselves. This is more like Venom, more like Bathory, this kind of black thrash, which I love so much, and I really wanted to put it 1, but there's 2 others that I love too much. So this one is still a 10 for me, but the songs, as amazing as they are, can kind of bleed into each other a little bit too much, but I love them so much, so fuck it, that's not even a flaw for me, because they're all too good. But if you like thrash with an edge, then listen to this fucking album. If you love stuff like Venom, Bathory, Celtic Frost, you'll love this fucking album. This album's awesome. And I love my black metal, so this is going high for me. Maybe not for a lot of people, but I fucking love this. The edge of this album. It's too goddamn good. Number 3. So number 2 is Terrible Certainty. This album is a masterpiece. A goddamn masterpiece. When a lot of people have this kind of lower, and I'm just scratching my head, just like, why? They say that the front half is amazing, and then it gets kind of meh, or they're kind of unfocused on this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You're talking out your fucking ass. This album's amazing from start to finish. Blind Faith is one of the best Kreator songs. Terrible Certainty, As the World Burns, Toxic Trace. This album's a masterpiece. I almost wanted to put it 1, but there's just one album that just kind of pounds your ass into dust every time you listen to it. This album's more technical. I love it for that. Maybe this will go 1 eventually. Maybe in time, Terrible Certainty will be my number 1. But at the moment, it's Pleasure to Kill. How can it not be Pleasure to Kill? The fucking artwork is one of the best artworks ever made. I mean, it looks like a Doom cover. Like all the fucking demons and skeletons. How good is that? And the song, Pleasure to Kill. It's one of the best thrash songs ever made. This album is intense from the moment you press play. Like, every song on this album is intense as fuck. It's all about killing, different ways to kill your enemy. This album's more like death metal. It's more like death metal. You know, the first album was more like black metal. This is more like death metal. Then they got a bit more technical and got into their own groove of things. But the first 3 albums for me are the best and always will be the best. So that is my number 1, Pleasure to Kill. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know again down below what's your favourite Kreator album, what's your least favourite. Let me know, and we'll see you again on another video.